Hello everyone and welcome to week 3 of your First Steps to Success rolling training program from Forever Living Products. What we're going to cover this week is 4 topics. Prospecting for diamonds. We're going to give you additional methods of how to do that. Sending information and following up. And it's very important to follow up, that is what is the fortune in our business. And the one-on-one presentation, we will give you some links to download the one-on-one presentation offline so that you can actually watch it and practice it. And then building a successful pipeline, which is part of your activity tracker, either your Excel spreadsheet or your MLM tracker system that is an online system. So let's review week 2. We covered in week 2 your dreams and goals book, and we definitely hope that you actually have done one. And if you haven't, we strongly recommend that. Profiling and contacting. We've covered how do we get new customers and how do we keep them. We've talked about 100+ names list and how to make it, what comprises that list, and then points recording sheet. And we're hoping that you have practiced every one of those tips and scripts that were given to you last week. And also you do have your 100+ names list compiled and you have started using your points recording sheet. So, all right, prospecting for diamonds. What alternative methods can we be using? So, methods of prospecting. There are lots of different methods of prospecting, but all you need to do really is pick 3 methods for yourself that you will utilize that will be your income generating activities. So the very first and very important item here is continue growing your contact list. Again, we can't stress this enough to add 2 people per day to the list at all times possible. There are different methods of how to prospect. Obviously, Facebook, Twitter, and other social media is one way. So what do you do on Facebook? Maybe you comment on somebody's post. Maybe you make yourself a group or a post in a group, and then wait for people to like or respond to your post, and then connect with those people personally in their private message instead of public. And then discuss with them. So for instance, maybe it's a post about some digestive disorders that you've done on one of the groups, or you made a comment to a post, maybe an alternative comment, and then you had a person or 2 reply to your comment. You would connect with them offline in their private messaging, and you would ask them questions. For instance, if maybe you've commented about weight management, would you like to know about alternative solutions for weight management, like natural products, etc.? And maybe that person does want to know that. So then you would exchange the phone numbers and you would approach them this way. So that's one of the ways you should do that. And you do need to know that in order for that to be successful, you do need to work on your Facebook profile. Your Facebook profile needs to be completely positive. Your background picture needs to be positive. Your foreground picture, your face needs to be healthy and smiley and happy. And then any kind of posts that you have on your Facebook page, any kind of negative posts need to be removed. So if, for instance, if you're constantly complaining about, your car breaking down, or you've been sick, or, oh my gosh, there's politics and this and that, that all needs to be removed. It needs to be positive and inspiring, because, that will attract the right caliber people to your Facebook profile. Also, the next method here is contact marketing. That what we call it people shopping. So this is when you actually go, not directly people shopping, but let's say you're going shopping and then or you're going to a restaurant and you do like how you've been serviced by one of the associates, or you stand in line in a long line somewhere, and then you just discuss something with one of the people that are in line. So of course, you need to know what to say, and we usually do the form. If let's say there's time, we do the formula, family, occupation, recreation, and then you decide whether to give the message or not based on what you found out in those 3 categories about the person. Maybe you see a person buying something for, let's say, eczema, and you ask them, who has the eczema in their family, and who is, would they like to, are they interested in alternative products that are natural, etc. So it all depends on what a situation is. Then we have face-to-face conversations. So when you actually do converse to a person and you basically, introduce yourselves, and maybe you can tell them that, hey, I'm, who are you? What are you doing? They ask you, and you say, well, I'm a network marketing professional. So you're very direct, and you're proud of it, and that person is wondering what that is, and you might be able to exchange the numbers and tell them how you make money by working a few hours a week. There's another method that is cards and flyers. That method again is it's not free, so you would need to order cards and order flyers. And if you do have questions about what flyers or leaflets we use, you can contact your sponsor and they will provide you some samples. We are planning to put them on 4EverBiz group so that you can actually use those flyers and personalize them. If you can't personalize them, then ask your sponsor. So the flyers and the cards and the leaflets work really well, and if they're done consistently, but they do need to be done in large quantities. So for instance, if you are, let's say, dropping flyers in one of the neighborhood's boxes, mailboxes one night, make sure that you have about 50 flyers, because again, the return for the cold contacts like this is about 10%. So maybe out of 50 flyers, 5 people will contact you and find out what it is, and then maybe one person would have a party. So that's just in regards to, let's say, party flyers. So would you like to find out about our amazing and wonderful natural skincare and personal care products? You can have a party and get a $25 gift certificate for products, etc., etc. So there are different samples that we have. The next one is pop boxes. So pop boxes would be the personal use product packs that you can compose yourself. There are different themes, and there's a separate training on how to compose pop boxes, what to put in those, what are the themes. And those can be given to whomever to just try the products for free and fill out the questionnaire. So this goes really, really well. Again, make sure that the customer for pop boxes does know that you do have a business, and then at some point of time, if the customer likes the product, you do tell them that you can actually, do you want to find out that you can actually make money with this and how we do it. So just make sure that you do prospect your customers as well, because if you don't, then somebody else will sign them up. That's basically it. So then we have local shows and exhibits. We've talked before about that, having those local shows not free. A lot of them are not free, and if, let's say, the table at a show costs about $200, $300, of course that is not duplicatable, so don't do it. At least, maybe if you have a developed business, you can probably do that, but if you don't know how to say things, and if you're just at the beginning, I wouldn't recommend doing this. I would Google for local shows that are free. And again, those local shows, what we recommend is having a couple of balls for drawings, and maybe one ball is for drawing. Have a free party at your house and fill in this application, and then we'll draw one or two candidates from this ball, and then you get the party at your house, and you also win a $25 gift certificate, for instance, or a free facial, whatever. And then have another ball of, let's say, win a product, a free product. We have a free drawing. And the goal for those local shows and exhibits is actually not just to introduce and sell your products, but actually converse with people, build personal relationships, collect their numbers, their email addresses, so that you can later contact them. That is the goal. And then also make sure that when you do converse with people, and if somebody strikes you as far as an interesting person, or a person who is interested in business or interested in getting their health in order, make sure that you write their name down, that you actually do exchange the information. You don't just wait for them to drop that raffle ticket into the jar. Product launches. sorry, I jumped a little bit. Referrals. So make sure that you do have, do ask for referrals. And if, let's say you're at the local show and you meet somebody and they say, well, no, that's not for me, blah, blah, blah. Well, who do you know? Do you have anybody who has digestive issues, has skin issues, has immune issues? Do you know anyone that, would like to have a part-time business at their house, etc.? If, let's say, you have local advertising event where you maybe drop some leaflets at the local store, put some of your business cards at the local store, or an ad, or you just ask a friend who owns a salon to also promote some of your products. Make sure that you also ask for referrals always, and maybe just write it down on your card or on your leaflet that referrals would be greatly appreciated. If you drop a pop box and a person doesn't really feel like ordering the products, or if a person orders a product and then that's it, they make sure you ask for referrals at all times. Product launches, is that something that you basically would do at a friend's house or at your own house, or if at somebody who is a cold contact house? It doesn't really matter, but those product launches are also a method of prospecting. If maybe you're talking about products, but those questionnaires that we give out during the product launches, at the very end, they actually do ask for if a person is interested in business, and that is very important. So if you do sort those questionnaires and you sort them by who would like to learn more about the business, or who would like to learn more about the weight management products, and you sort them into 2 or 3 different piles, that you can say that, and we are done for today. Thank you so much for coming. However, those of you who had marked that they're interested in business, we would like you to stay for another 15 minutes if you can, because we wanted to just give you a very brief overview of the business and see if you're interested, or about the weight management products, and see that make sure that you get the information and that you don't just walk away empty-handed. Then, of course, you have satisfied customer referrals, which means that if, let's say, you have a customer that orders from you and they're very satisfied with the products, make sure you ask them for referrals. It's absolutely a must. Talk to groups, Chamber of Commerce, business women networking during the different conferences. Make sure that you do collect the names. I guess that's the one and topmost objective of networking, is collecting the names of people. And then you may not be telling them about business at all, none, but your job is to introduce yourself, to get a personal connection going, and then to exchange the business cards. I guess that is the very first step to networking. And make sure you ask a lot of questions. Again, form, family, occupation, recreation, and don't give the message maybe, but let's say if the person is interested in something, or they have health issues, or they are complaining about their job, and you might want to drop a little line and say that, well, you know what, this is very interesting that you mentioned this, but I happen to have a side business that I do in my spare time. Would you like to find out what I do? And then, of course, let them know that it's not a 5-minute conversation, so you can set some time elsewhere in other time with them. Then join networking clubs. Make sure you do go there and you do show your face. I guess, maybe that's not every month, that's not every week, but maybe it's once a quarter or so, but it's very, very important to get those connections going. So again, use 3 methods of marketing to guarantee success. All right, contact marketing. What is it? It's engaging in casual conversation with people to find out if there's some interest in looking at what we do. So yeah, some of you may just be, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to do this. But this business is all about making yourself uncomfortable. You cannot really move up. You cannot really become successful without first making yourself uncomfortable and practicing those skills, those new skills, stepping outside of your comfort zone and growing personally and professionally. So for instance, you might be out and about and looking, for some things at the store, or dining out, and then you see a person, you meet a person who is really, really giving you a really good service, and you're saying to that person, hey, people like you usually make big money in the business that I'm in. Thank you so much for servicing me so well. So you compliment to the person first, and then you tell them, you entice them, or you intrigue them by saying that people like them make a lot of money in our industry. And when they ask what industry it is, you can either add them to your Facebook page, which you can say that, oh, you know what, let me find you on Facebook, which, I would like to send you a video about what we do. But, let me add you to Facebook, to my Facebook profile, so that I can send you that video. The worst thing that can happen is a person can say, no, I don't want it. So, or another approach would be is, let me give you my card, and then let's exchange information so I can actually send you the information, the video that I have about what we do. Never, never, ever leave the house without your business cards and prospecting cards and flyers, because they can be a conversation opener. You can use them as a conversation opener, but again, the very important thing here is not to give you a business card, but to actually get the number and the contact information of the person you're talking to. Because the likelihood of that they're going to call you is very little compared to if you get their number, the likelihood of you calling them is 100%. So this is a simple and duplicatable and effective method, and make it fun. Please make it fun. Do not make it not fun. Do not make it stressful or saying any additional information. The whole objective of this is getting a contact, either adding them to your Facebook or getting their phone number and email address, or one of those. It's supposed to be simple, duplicatable, effective, and fun. And then practice, practice, practice. Practice makes it perfect. So you may be having some jitters at the beginning, but if you don't practice, you'll never go over that hump. It'll never become a second nature. Our business is a relationship business. It's not sales business. It's not pushing business. It's relationship business. So make it fun. Have a conversation about life, about things, and make it fun. Richard Ingleby, senior manager. He builds his business by contact marketing only. He is currently receiving income from over 20 countries. He is very massive in Africa. So be prepared. Have your business cards ready. They look professional. And have a small notebook and pen in your purse or your car, because you never know whom you're going to meet. Have a smart attire. Do not leave the house looking like a bomb. Make sure that you're put together, that your hair is not all over the place, and you don't look like you just woke up. Casual clothes is fine as long as you look put together. Have a great attitude. Be smart. Be excited when you're talking to people. Buddy up with somebody. Sometimes it may be a little scary to go there by yourself, but again, buddy up. And again, it's not that bad. The worst thing that can happen, a person can say no to you. That's it. So it's not gonna be, it's not gonna kill you or anything. But instead of giving the business cards to the person, first try adding them to your Facebook account, and just tell them that you're gonna be sending them some information, some video links and stuff. Or you can just ask them to write down or exchange the phone numbers and have your cell phone ready. That's basically the key, is having your cell phone ready. Pull it out and already start typing. Literally, you have to look like you're about to start typing. What is the phone number that I call, or what is your contact information, etc. So you have to learn these skills in order to be successful with contact marketing. So where do you do it? The answer is anywhere and everywhere. Town centers, shopping malls, small shops, restaurants, etc., etc. Mom and toddler groups, hospitals, health centers, stations, exhibitions, shows, conferences, wherever there are people. What to say? Pay a compliment. For instance, thank you for helping me today. With your attitude, you would be great in my business. Ask questions and respond with positive information about 4Ever. It is very, very important to ask questions. So for instance, you might want to ask questions like, Do you like your job? How long have you worked here? Etc., etc. That could be a conversation opener. Or you could say, I'm expanding my business in this area and I'm looking for 5 people like you with very good customer service, great attitude, go-getters. Who would like to earn $2,000 a month part-time in the next 4 months? Do you know anyone? That could be a great conversation opener. Or you could say, excuse me, I wonder if you could help me. We are raising the profile of our company in this area, and I would like to give you some information if I may. You might be able to help me, etc. Or you could say, can I give you my card? And then, of course, or you could say, can we exchange information so I can give you some more information? So there are so many different ways to contact, to connect with people. So be creative. So when you're asked, what do you do? There are some possible answers that we can provide you with. You can say, we show people how to develop a second income stream. Or you can say, we show people how to develop work-life balance. You could say, we show people how to start their own very lucrative home-based business. Or we mentor people to earn a substantial income. Or you could say, we show people how to build their own highly successful home-based business in the health and wellness sector. Would that be of interest to you? So that's basically what you say. And, if a person is interested, do not vomit all your business all over them. Just get a contact information, and then you can say, I would love to meet with you to tell you more about it if you're interested. Or you could say, if you're not interested, do you know someone who might be interested? And you always should ask for a referral. And exchanging information is number one thing. So only unless you give your business card without taking their information first, only when a person says, no, I don't have a card and I don't want to give you information. Do you have a card? I'll take your card and I'll call you. The likelihood of them calling you is very, very small. So make sure you do get their information at all possible. Remember, the fortune is in the follow-up. We do recommend that you follow up within 24 to 48 hours. And you do call at the time you said you would call, because the longer you wait, the more likely your prospect would lose interest. If, let's say, you called and you didn't get the prospect on the phone, then make sure you leave a voice message that you would call them back, let's say on Tuesday, and you write down in your activity tracker so you don't forget to call them on Tuesday. Know your objective when you call. Is it to start the relationship building process? Is it to arrange a one-on-one or send information or ask to watch a DVD or a video? And if not, then if person is not ready, then ask when to call them back. I actually had a few contacts. One said that, yeah, I'm very interested, but right now I'm looking for a job. So, call me in 6 months. So then I write down my activity tracker to call her in 6 months. Always ask for a referral. If a person says, you know what, I know I said that I'm interested, but now things have changed, whatever. So then you ask for a referral. Would you know anyone who might like to earn $500 to $800 a month? Or would you know someone who would like to earn up to $2,000 a month in 4 months? Always ask for a referral. What do we say then? So here's an example of a script. Hi Sam, it's Jane. We met briefly at the travel exhibition yesterday, and I'm calling as promised to tell you a little bit about who we are, what we do, and the kind of people we're looking for. Is now a good time? Great. Before I take you through all that, it would be really helpful to me if I could just ask you a couple of quick questions. Where are you based? Are you currently working? Are you married, single, family? And then here's a very, very important question. In an ideal world, what would you like to be doing? This question would give you an ability to learn a little bit more about this cold contact and make sure that the kind of person you're talking to, find out a little bit more about their aspirations, their goals in life. And then if you, let's say that person actually, you didn't meet them at the exhibition personally, but they actually responded to your card or your advertisement, Then you say, tell me, what made you respond to my card and or advertisement? Then at the end, when you found out a little bit about themselves, you thank them. So you say, thank you for that. And now let me tell you about us. And you tell them about the company. So the goal of this is to build the rapport and then keep it conversational. Do not, it shouldn't sound like a script. It shouldn't sound like you're a machine. Cards and flyers. Cards and flyers, when used consistently, will generate great results. Use them as a conversation opener. Hand out anywhere there are people. Put through letter boxes. Leave wherever you go. Create a paper trail. Again, this is not free. It will cost you to print those cards and those flyers, but if it's done consistently, it will generate great results. Does giving out a card time work? Yes, absolutely. We have several examples. Ellen Spray, manager, used a lot of cards and flyers. Sally Trimble is a sapphire manager now, and then Dr. Maria Idigo, she's a diamond manager. They all used cards and flyers. Okay, so here are some examples of our prospecting cards and flyers. If you do need any of those, you can contact your sponsor and we'll provide those to you. Again, you can personalize them by adding to the bottom your name, your email address, your phone number for those contacts that would want to return the call to you. But if you'd like, you can design your own. You can just use the PowerPoint again and just make a very, very professionally looking leaflet or flyer. Just add some writing on it, add some words. You can make them look really cool, different colors, add some pictures, add your name, whatever you want to add, and then just print out a few. Again, they need to look attractive, colorful, and fun, so people do feel like returning your call to you. Okay, now let's talk about building a successful pipeline. So pipeline, an example of it is actually, it's called Activity Tracker in the First Steps to Manager book. And you can also use an Excel spreadsheet, or you can use our list of who do you know, a list of 100 contacts that we actually have on 4EverBiz as a template, because it really essentially is one list of contacts, and then pipeline is just additional columns in that list. So when do you update those columns, or when do you add, if it's a separate list or separate sheet, then when do you add a person to a pipeline? You only add the person to a pipeline when you had given the information to that person, and that person will stay in the pipeline until a disposition is received about that person. So basically, you see fields here. You see the name. You see the cold or the warm contact, what kind of contact that is. You have columns that basically capture the date and the type of your one-on-one or your information type. When you provided that contact and information, then list the date and the type. How did you provide that information? Did you actually have a coffee and one-on-one with them? Sent them a website to look at, or sent them a video so that you can remember in the future. Then the second step, after that person had watched that video or that listened to you talk about the business, the next step for that person would be to invite them to a business presentation. So that's a second exposure, as we call it. So again, when that person had come to the business presentation, you should list date and type again, whether it was on the phone, on Skype, whether it was in person. Maybe you sent them a video again. And then when that person got registered, the date of registration, and then the first planning session, the date and the type. Basically, with remote contacts, we do Skype planning session. With the local contacts, we do one-on-one. And then some additional comments. That's how the pipeline looks like. Again, that person, to have an active pipeline, meaning to have all the people whom you had already prompted for information, they had agreed to accept information from you. So let's say that waiter that serviced you so well, and you said, hey, people like you make wonderful amazing money in our business. And they said, yeah, sure, I'm interested. I'd like to learn more about. That's when you add that person to the list. You haven't given them one-on-one, you haven't given them information yet, but that person had already agreed and had given you their contact number. That person will stay in the list until they actually are yay or nay. So whether they registered as a customer, whether they registered as a business owner, it doesn't really matter. But the minute they're registered and if it's their customer, of course, there is no first planning session. But if they are, they will stay in the list because at some point in time they may become a business owner. So the pipeline then contains all the people that have not had all the little cells filled in, basically. So, so enter them into the pipeline again only when they have agreed to meet or take more information from you. You develop your pipeline in part-time or full-time fashion. For part-time, those of us, you need to have at least 20 prospects minimum in the pipeline. For those who are full-time, 40 plus prospects in the pipeline. Again, those are people whose little cells aren't all filled in. Use the pipeline to coach your next distributors. It's very, very important because they're still developing the business routine, and our business routine is very important. Just like, when you go to work, there's a routine. And when you go there every day, you do certain things at work to get paid. That's exactly what we do here. And then no means not now. That's what it means. If the person says no, again, you may want to call them again in 6 months because something may have changed. Things have shifted and priorities have shifted, or that little seed that you planted in their mind may have grown and sprouted and it's a tree now. So that's why you do a diary, and you actually do a full month view in your activity tracker, so that you actually, or a full year view in your activity tracker, so that you know whom do you call and when. So how do you do the one-on-one? We do have some scripts for you, and we do have some videos to watch, so that it basically will make you a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more confident. But the keys are: be prepared. The first part of the one-on-one is introduction. Of course, you need to ask questions and build rapport with that person. Get to know them, get to ask them, what they would be doing in a perfect world, what they like or dislike about their life, and then talk through the opportunity. Talking through the opportunity would be basically saying how wonderful and how stable our company is, that it is very cash rich and that poor, that it's in many countries, that it's actually in many years in business, and that the products are a very wide range that everybody uses every day. So then you talk through how, different streams of income that we have and different opportunities to run this business that we have, flexible opportunities. And then if this is of an interest to a person and you understand exactly what their goals are, and maybe the immediate goal for that person is making $2,000 a month additional income, you match the business to person's needs. So for instance, you can show them the marketing plan. You can say that in order for you to make $2,000 a month, this is what you need to do, and this is attainable within so many months, as you can see on the plan, on the marketing plan. If this is the product that the person needs, then you basically show them the product and in the catalog, and you can just tell them that this is what they would need to do in order to get their health in order, or in order to feel better. Those are the products. And then ask the closing questions. It could sound like, from what you've seen so far, with more information still to come, do you see something here for you? Yes, no, or maybe. And please feel very comfortable to say no. You basically tell that to a person, because it is business of selection. You should never go into this kind of conversation with an objective of signing a person in. It should be simply telling them about products and business, and then asking them what they think about it. So if that person had seen anything for them in what you've said, then the next step is, that's what you say, okay, all right. So the next step is, if the person had seen something interesting for themselves as far as the business, the next step is the registration. So we typically register everybody right through the phone. You just go to your link on the phone, and it takes less than 2 minutes to register a person. There are only a few fields to fill in. And then you walk them through. You actually have them log in to their site through their phone just to make sure that the person is comfortable and they've received those confirmation emails, they've reset their password, etc. We show that to a person because it's important that person will know now how to do that so they can teach others how to do that. You also send that person their personal URL right away so that they can share it with their friends and relatives. And you tell them the next step. Now, since they've registered, the next step would be is for them to order a Start Your Journey pack. And once they have that pack, or once they've ordered that pack, you can actually help them order right away. Once they've had ordered it, and once they are expecting it, you can already have a very first planning session with that person. We do recommend that you do have a planning session within 24 to 48 hours after the person had registered, unless it's absolutely impossible due to the schedule. But do not wait very long, because the longer you wait, the more cold the contact or the prospect or actually in this case the distributor will become. All right, homework, your next 7-day plan before our next module. First of all, decide on your 3 methods of prospecting. Go back to that slide and read through those methods of prospecting and pick 3 methods that you'd like to perfect or you'd like to learn more about and utilize. I personally use quite a few methods. I use Facebook, I use LinkedIn, I use Russian social sites, I use a lot of job ads and job boards throughout the internet. I also post online for jobs, offering my opportunity. I also do contact marketing. It's one of my favorites because it actually gives you an advantage actually seeing a person face to face, and it has higher percent of return. Next item that you do this week is order your business cards, prospecting cards, or flyers. You can contact your sponsor for better ideas on where to order business cards. We use Vistaprint a lot. It's very cheap, or you can do, Office Depot, different other places that, local. You don't need to order a lot of those cards, just so you know, but order at least, 100 or 200 so that you have some handy, and just have them handy in your purse, in your car. Continue making prospecting calls and keep practicing. Practice makes it perfect. Practice your one-on-one. Again, contact your sponsor for the URL for the one-on-one. We're going to post it on 4EverBiz page, a sample one-on-one interview to assist you with that. Bring first steps to manager book to the next meeting, to our next call, and have it handy with you. Review your pages with progress with 20 to 30 customers. Again, you need to be working on generating your 20 to 30 customers. Use different methods for that, please. Fill in your points sheet for this week. Again, you can find the points sheet on the 4EverBiz Facebook group. So fill it in for this week. Start practicing the points sheet, because it's going to give your sponsor an idea about how your activities are structured for the week, and if you're doing enough to propel your business forward faster. Book your next training or event, whether it is with your sponsor or somebody else, or whether it's your product launch or business launch. And the main thing is, ignore people who say it can't be done. Without successful approach and actually having success and visualizing success, the likelihood is very slim. So Ignore negativity, ignore people who can't say no. You have to focus on the future, you have to visualize it. If you haven't created your dream board, please do so. Make sure that it's visible every day, either it's in the bathroom, in the kitchen, or somewhere else where you can see it every single day. It totally imprints on your subconscious, and your brain, like we talked last week, is an amazing structure. It's going to propel you forward, and it's going to make you successful. And good luck, and we'll see you in a week. All right, this is the end of week 3 training. Please review the slides, review the presentation, jot down your comments and type up your comments and your suggestions in the comments area under the video. It would be very, very helpful for us to make this training even better. Thank you and have a great week.